Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio and the last 3 pages of my Collection of Curiosities book. So these are pages 38, 39, and 40. Before I started the camera, I created a fortune wheel, a wheel of fortune. I looked up some positive, only the good stuff, and put it on this wheel, and I'm now just jelly printing a little bit over it to grunge it up a little bit. It was a bit too clean for my book. Needed to have a little bit of grunge, and I didn't use quinacridone nickel hazel gold. Isn't that a surprise? So here that is. I think it's cool with the little splotches. I used high flow paint to do that. And yeah, so one of my pages is going to be a Wheel of Fortune. And I'm thinking of what I need to do next, apparently. It's usually what happens when I'm drumming my fingers on the table. Like, what am I going to do? So I decided, I did a previous wheel near the beginning. And people have a hard time figuring out how they should turn the wheel because it doesn't have, like, both things are the same size. And, I just stick my finger in there and turn it, but people handling your stuff are like, want to be gentle. So I decided this time I would stick, well, first of all, I needed numbers because I needed to be able to roll some dice, some sort of dice thing, and hit a number and then go to that fortune, right? So I just took some paper with a little bit of paint on them and put some numbers, and that's what we're going to attach to these. There was probably a better way to do it. This is how my mind made it. You just come up with things on the fly, and there you go. So I don't know if you want to know what fortunes are on there. But while you're watching me glue the numbers on there, I guess I could read them to you. Let's see, number 1. Oh, there's a 0, too. It says, your present plans are going to succeed. That's the 0. Can you believe it? Number 1 is expect good things and they will come. Doors will be opening for you. Your biggest obstacle is you. That's not a positive, but at least it's not that much of a negative. You will take a chance in the near future. It is time to explore new interests. Be prepared for big and small things that fall in your path. Hard work will soon pay off. I hope that's going to happen. You will enjoy good health. I want that one to happen too. It is up to you to create your own adventure. I like that one. An adventure is coming your way. And that was number 10. So there's 10 of them. And for the cover over this one, I used a gel print that had the dragonflies on it. I glued it to a file folder and cut out the circle. And I'm going to drill, I have like a hand hold hole punch. So I'm going to put a little hole in that one so it spins easy. And then just poke a little hole for the brad to go in on the top one. So I think I'm looking for something to poke the hole with. Oh no, I want to cut my little opening, my little window. I'm trying to judge where these, because I want to do this from the back, I'm trying to judge where the blankest area of the jelly print is to create my little window. When I first put this in my book, it spun pretty good, but now it's like it sticks. And it's probably because it's starting to curve upward. Need to figure out a way to get it to curve the other direction. Ooh. Probably will never happen. So I'm just using an X-Acto blade to cut that out. I made sure it was really sharp so that it would cut easy. All right. So it's not 100% perfect. I was trying to, if I'd have done 8 or 6 or some sort of other even number, I might have had better luck dividing my circle, but I had a hard time dividing it into 10. But it works. Good enough. So to glue this into my book, I need a backing so that the wheel can spin freely, but something glues it to the book. So I sticking the brad all the way through to that extra little piece, and that's what I'll glue to the book. And then I had this extra piece of dragonfly, so I'm going to use it too. Why not? Figure out where I want that. And I'm just going to have the dragonfly on there. It'll kind of keep the circle down. I probably need one on the other side too. But, all right, so like I said, I'm just going to glue this circle part. I don't want it to touch the wheel that needs to spin. Put it in place. And then we're going to glue the dragonfly on here as soon as I decide where. But leave a little bit of gap for the numbers to slide underneath it. I could probably stick a foam dot under there at this point. Give it a little space because they're sticking going under the dragonfly. They didn't in the beginning, but they are now. And hopefully I get this where it won't get glue on everything else. I'm peeking just to make sure. Just going to put a little bit of glue on the antennas to hold them down. And then just a little bit along there to hold the tail down. And there we go. It turns pretty good right now. But later, it's harder. Okay, so I was trying to think of a way to make dice that would not be too bulky in my book. So I made these dice out of a pencil. So I just cut a pencil, 2 lengths off of a pencil, and I ground holes into them and then inked up the holes. I also put a little gesso and some stain, roughed them up, tried to make them look old. Somebody said, oh, they're supposed to be the bones. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. I could have made them more white and look like bone, but they're pencils. So to store the pencils, I want a pocket, but I don't want them to where they're going to fall out when the page is turned, right? So I was thinking I could, like, this is fabric. I was thinking I could make like a gusset so that it was a little 3-dimensional, and then it would work. So that's how I start. So I make the little folds in it, stick it down. But it's still, even after I do that, it's still a little loosey-goosey. Like, the pencils aren't going to stay secure enough. So, what I decide to do, you'll see, I put them in there and they just flop around a little bit. See, it's too loose. So what I decide to do is just glue the gusset down and make it snug. So just on that fold on both sides, we're going to glue that down and hold it in place. And then it just makes it more of a 3-dimensional pocket. Did the same thing over there. I think eventually I get some clips to hold that down so I don't have to sit there holding it. Because it takes longer than paper to glue get fabric to stay. So here we go. Get some clips on there. And then I decide, well, I might as well add that stray dragonfly that's just hanging out on my desk. Put him on here. And there we have it. Whee! All right, now I got to think about the other side. But first, a couple of pictures. So here it is. You can see it's curling now. I took the picture just now. So, and there's my dice, my pencil dice. And you just count the dots, and however many dots are up, that's the number you're going for. So I was trying to think of what I could, like, I'm running out of ideas. Well, I've been running out of ideas halfway through the book, I think. So I decided to do the 5 senses. And I found these little clip art images and printed them out and just cut them out, glued them on, and then added a quote. And of course, they're way too white and way too clean. So once I get them glued on there, we're going to have to grunge them up. So now that you have, well, I don't know if you have. If you haven't watched all of them, it might be kind of a marathon at this point. But there is a playlist in the description box below in case you're interested in seeing the other videos. But those of you that have been following along, what's your favorite? Oh yeah, I was going to decide what my favorite was. I don't know. I think the mirror. The obsidian mirror was kind of fun to do. I like a lot of this book, actually. I like the other wheel I did. I think it looks really cool. It feels really nice. I don't know. How do you pick a favorite child, right? So here I am, grunching it up, spraying some distress spray on there. And then blotting it because, you know, it's messy. It's getting everywhere. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you see me write the quote, but then I take gelatos to the white circles because they're still white. But the quote, because I don't know if you can read it, it's all our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. My T is crossed weird on there. So I crossed the H instead of the T. It took me a minute to figure out what I'd written. That's my handwriting for you. I'm leaving the teeth white except for the brown drips on it. So they'll look extra white, right? I haven't pulled out my gelatos in a long time. Something reminded me about them, so I thought I would use them today on this project, or the day I did this one. Got one more up there. Gotta get the blue eye. I think I leave the white of the eye as well, yeah. And of course, gotta have a picture of those. When you see this video, let me know. Do you want a flip through? I know I did a halfway flip through way back at the beginning. I guess I could do another flip through if you're interested. So this is the last page. I have some gold. That bird still needs help. I added gelatos to it. It still needs something else. Haven't decided. I was thinking I might take paint to it. But the last page is the other side. It's got a few gold stencils on there. And so I just emphasize the gold stencils and put a little quote on there. Something quick and easy. I don't know if I paint over that, if it would paint very well after adding gelato. I don't know. I just feel like he needs something. He needs something to fit into my book. Just using a damp cloth to kind of blend things. Alright, so this last one is real simple. I do a little shading off camera, and then, yeah, see, I did a little shading around him, try and make him show up, and then I got out my gold watercolor, and we're just going to emphasize him with a little bit of gold. Make them look sphere-like. And the quote I put on here is, "Allow yourself to be seen and heard in all the ways your soul desires." That was, I looked up a fortune for Gemini on October 31st, and that is what I found. And I thought it fit this book and fit to be the last page. So I hope you have enjoyed this series. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I got to get caught up on other stuff. But as always, if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you would like to leave a comment, I would appreciate that. You could tell me your opinions. Which page in this whole book was your favorite? Do you want me to do a flip through? I don't know if I need to do a flip through. I feel done. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you that followed along and made it to the end. I really appreciate that. And as always, I hope you have an awesome day.